What's up, my people? This is ShowBizz, the adult. All right, man, look. Let's get to the bottom of this. I constantly get this in my comments, so it's time to get to the bottom of this. Errol, Spence, and Terence Crawford. Who's ducking who? Get my coffee. Okay, man, let's get to the bottom of this. And I'm going to break this down as clearly as I possibly can. And if I get it in my comments after this, then I just don't know what to say. So here's the deal. First, I want to say there is no offer on the table from any one of those guys. Okay, when I define ducking, I usually say when they are lined up to face each other and one moves out the way. As of right now, there's no offers on the table. Okay, so no one has rejected any offers. So I am kind of boggled by how do you pick who's ducking who when there's no offers on the table? So how do you say, well, Errol Spence is ducking Terence Crawford? Did Terence Crawford offer Errol Spence a fight? No. So how do you say Errol Spence is ducking him? When you look at Terence Crawford is ducking Errol Spence. How do you say, did Errol Spence offer him a fight? How do you make that decision other than I like Terence Crawford more, so let me just call Errol Spence the ducker? Or I like Errol Spence more, let me call Terence Crawford the ducker. It just doesn't work like that, okay? Another reason why, or another thing to consider. Have Errol Spence, has he called out Terence Crawford? And has Terence Crawford called out Errol Spence? Yes. If you've been following boxing, yes. Okay, go to Ellie Setback, go to any, do you guys remember when they met each other in the hallway just last year? It was like December of last year. Well, no, it was November of last year. They met each other in the hallway and they were just talking junk to each other. I mean, just running off at the gip, but that was only a few months ago, okay? And for any of you who challenge how close I am to boxing, I have the inside track on how that even happened. That didn't happen by accident. Errol Spence knew he was going to be there at that time, and he showed up to meet him there. Okay, to have that call out in front of everybody to say, look, we're not afraid of each other. Terence Crawford, he talked junk right back. They're not afraid of each other. Another thing, do you guys follow them on Twitter? No one calls out each other more than Terence Crawford and Errol Spence. They stay calling each other out. So if there's no offers on the table, so no one rejected the other's offer, so we can't say they're ducking there. So you must have to just go off of who's been calling out who, and they call out each other constantly. So there's no ducking there. So the question is, why hasn't the fight happened? We can't define ducking as the fight hasn't happened at the time that I want it to happen, so Errol Spence is ducking or Terence Crawford is ducking because the fight hasn't happened yet. That's not enough to call someone a ducker, okay? Why hasn't the fight happened? Very easy. It's a very easy explanation why. Terence Crawford is on Top Rank. He's with Top Rank, okay? Errol Spence is with PBC. So it's hard to make that fight anyway. But to add to that, all of the high-level welterweights are with PBC, okay? Sean Porter, Danny Garcia, Manny Pacquiao, Keith Thurman, Errol Spence. They have fights, they have stuff they got to do in there, and those fights are very easy to make. They're all under one umbrella. So why struggle and fight and claw to get to Terence Crawford when there's business to handle here, and it's very easy to make those fights. It's very easy to have a fight with Sean Porter, Keith Thurman, Manny Pacquiao. They're all under the same umbrella. You can talk to Al Heyman, y'all can figure that out. Why struggle and claw and try to fight Terence Crawford? Here's the thing. Terence Crawford hasn't fought any of those guys. He hasn't fought any of those guys. So you got to kind of think about it. Why hasn't Terence Crawford fought Danny Garcia yet? Or why hasn't Terence Crawford fought Sean Porter or Keith Thurman? Or, well, Keith Thurman, he's been out of boxing for like 2 years. But Manny Pacquiao, why hasn't those fights happened yet? Okay? It's all Bob Arum. Bob Arum didn't want Terence Crawford and Manny Pacquiao to fight when he was with Top Rank. He didn't want that fight. He said it himself. But now that Manny Pacquiao's over here, that is hard to make. Okay, so you have to think about what makes sense. They're fighting each other. Errol Spence is about to fight Sean Porter. They're fighting each other over here at PBC. So no one's running or ducking. There's business to be handled here. And after this business is handled, then you can go through the struggle and the grit and all of the crazy negotiations and all of the long, you know, just messed up. This is going to be bad to try to get Errol Spence to fight Terence Crawford. It's going to be a mess because you have the egos of Al Heyman and Bob Arum going against each other. That is going to be a struggle. But to answer your question, nobody's ducking anyone there. They're both calling each other out. They both met face to face. It's just that they're with two different companies, and it's hard to make that fight, especially when there's business to be made here. And it's very easy to make those fights because they're all under one umbrella. So I know for a lot of you boxing fans out there, it's almost like this is a waste of time to discuss this because you know better. You get it. But I get enough comments, okay, where this has to be explained. Man, dog, you know, Terence Crawford, they call out Errol Spence. He's scared. Terence Crawford, the boogeyman. Errol Spence is afraid of Terence. That's ridiculous. All they do is call each other out. It's just hard to make that fight. So why keep doing that? Why keep doing that and calling each other out when you can't make the fight anyway? Okay, so your boy Terence Crawford, he got Amir Khan, and his resume at 147 is going to look bad because all of the top level welterweights are with PBC. So he's going to his resume that's the one that's not looking good because it's hard to make those fights. You know what I'm saying? But once this get cleared out, we're going to have whoever comes out of the smoke here they're going to make the fight with Terence Crawford so they can unify because Terence Crawford is holding that Jeff Horn belt. So I just wanted to stop by, explain that to you guys, man, and hopefully we can just end that whole conversation about one being afraid of the other or ducking the other because neither one are ducking. ShowBizz, the dope. But I'm sure people still going to put it in the comments and just trolling and acting weird. But for those who sincerely want to know, that's the explanation. I'm out. Huh.